So, YouTube. Today, actually, this would be yesterday if you're seeing this now. But, anyways, I saw on Amazon that the Moga Ace Power, which is Moga's first version of an iOS controller. It's the collapsible one. If you guys will know what I'm talking about. I saw that it is now $7.99. I almost bought another one because I got this controller. I want to say like it was back when Modern Combat 4 was the latest Modern Combat out, so that was a while ago. But I think it was like $60 or $70 at the time, and I was like, yeah, let's get it and stuff, because honestly I thought it would work for Modern Combat 4, because I heard a rumor that that's what they were going to bring controller support to there, but then they ended up not doing that, and so I had to wait until Modern Combat 5 to use the controller for a first-person shooter. And I honestly I was like, oh, it's only, 60, 70 bucks, whatever it was. I was like, that's cool, I'll do that and buy it. But now that it's $8, it's like that's crazy to me. If you're thinking about getting a controller, get that controller. I mean, it's a solid controller. It's probably better than all the, off-brand ones and stuff like that. Moga makes controllers for phones. They specifically make them more towards Android and stuff like that, but their iOS versions, I think they only have two out. They have the Moga Ace Power, which is the one that's $7.99, and then they have the Moga Rebel, which I did look up, and I believe that one was still higher up. It might have been like 40 or something now, but it still had a pretty big price range, which it should, because it comes with a lot of different perks and stuff like that come along with it. One being that if you get the Moga Ace, you cannot record gameplay unless you have, an app that does it, or if you're playing Modern Combat 5 and do the whole, I think they have their own version of that, you can record in-game or whatever. So you can't hook up an HDMI cord, you can't hook up that lightning connector thing that plays stuff on TVs and things. You can only play it in the actual controller itself. Another downfall is that depending on what phone you have, it won't fit in the device. I believe it goes through all the 5th generation, 5C, 5S, all that stuff. But once you get to the pluses, 6S plus, that type of phone, they won't fit. I almost guarantee you that the 7 won't fit. But you can buy this thing that's kind of like an extension cord for a lightning cable. It's like a female to male lightning cord extender, and basically all you do is you plug the female in version into the controller and then just run the line up to your phone, which means that your phone has to be sitting on something. But I used to use my iPad, so I had my own little stand and stuff that I would sit my iPad on. I'd plug it in and it would go all the way to my iPad, and I'd be able to play that way. There is, if you watch my previous video on the controllers, there still is that lag, so make sure you're aware of that. There's that split second of, I'll look left and then it'll go left. If you want to figure out more of what I'm talking about, go to my previous video. I talk about it a lot in there. But for $7.99, well worth the price. Well, I honestly, if this one ever breaks, I will just go buy a new one, because that is very cheap for a solid controller. It does not feel cheap. It's very handy. If I put it in a bag or something with all my stuff, if I'm traveling anywhere, I don't feel like it'll break. It has its little lock thing that you can, it'll lock in place, so it won't spread open when you're, doing things, and it's, it's a very solid controller that you don't have to worry about breaking and snapping in half and all that stuff. It's very solid. The joysticks on it are kind of if you guys ever played a PSP, you'll know that the little joysticks very receded into the controller, and it's very tiny. those are kind of what the joysticks feel like. There's some pretty heavy resistance on them, so it's not going to be like you won't accidentally move anywhere. So I mean, they're good on that part, but if you're used to like playing with actual controllers and stuff, they don't rise up. They're very low concave, so your fingers might be slipping. It's just it's really touchy kind of. You really have to pay attention to what you're doing. Also, if you have cases on your phone, you will have to take them off to put them into this unless you have that lightning connector extension thing. Mainly because the cases aren't meant to, they're not supposed to fit in there. It's a very tight fit for your phones. I play on a 5C and it just works. And if I can't put my controller in it or I can't put my case in it with it because it adds like an extra like ½ inch and it won't fit. Other than that, this controller is pretty solid. It has its own little like boost, battery boost technology and stuff like that. So if your phone's ever like running low, just turn it on and it'll give it's basically like a wireless battery pack thing that you can buy from like the dollar store or whatever, but it comes built into the controller, so it's good. I actually went to Florida and I played with this on the plane, and my phone started dying, and so I just turned that on, and you can still play with it turned on, so that's a good thing too. So yeah, if you guys are looking for a controller and you wanted to get one of these, I would definitely recommend going $7.99 for this, because that completely outbeats the Moga Rebel. The only thing that the Moga Rebel doesn't have is, yes, it's more of a controller. It's, it basically resembles like an Xbox controller, so that it has that kind of like aspect to it. It also has like the Bluetooth connectivity, so you can record gameplay, you can plug it into stuff so you can play it on your TV. And it has that type of perk to it, but it also doesn't have the boost power thingy, so you can't, charge up your phone with it. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this controller if you're thinking about getting it. But if you're trying to play Modern Combat 5, just be aware that there's that lag, and it's not very good. So yeah, that's all I really have to say for this video. Like this video if you liked it, comment what you want next, and subscribe if you want to help my channel grow. And yeah, see ya.
Enemies remaining. Relay ready for capture. 1 enemy remaining. Taking the objective. Let's kill him. Four enemies remaining. Two enemies remaining.